John, how are you today?
I'm okay.
Sounds good. So how did the homework assignment I gave you, did you find any jobs that were within your field that you might be interested in?
I did, yeah. I did send out a resume and got a call back from an employer and for an interview. It's supposed to happen next week, but I don't really know if I'm going to go or not.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit more of why you feel that way, John? Can you let me know why you feel that way? Tell me a little more.
Well, as I kind of stated before, I just don't know if changing another job is going to make a difference. Going to another job is going to make a difference because it's basically the same type of work, and I'm really tired of doing this kind of work. So.
Okay. And I feel your frustration on that. However, the homework assignment was for you to explore different possibilities that you will want to do outside of what you're doing now. So.
Well, I don't know where to begin because I don't have experience in other areas. So, I look at my resume and my job history and my skills, and I'm not sure how they would transfer to another field. And then I look at my age and wonder if an employer from a field that I'm not familiar with would want to hire me, considering it takes time to train somebody in a new field and for somebody to break into that. And I'm not going to be in the employment. I'm not going to be employed for too much longer in my career. So, I almost feel like, well, what would be the use in that? To start a brand new field at my age and break into it, and not even knowing whether or not I like that either. So that's why.
Okay. If I'm getting this right, you are not really ready to explore different options at this time because you don't even know how much longer you're going to be in the field. You're about to, you're hitting retirement age.
I'm going to hit retirement age in about 3 years.
Okay.
And so I kind of feel like starting something brand new just to retire doesn't make a lot of sense, so. And then there's always, like I said, you have to go through training and all that, and so just by the time I was breaking into a job, I'd be ready to retire anyway, so it kind of makes no sense in a way.
Okay. So, tell me a little bit about your current job. How are things going at this present time? Are they getting better? Are they still the same?
Well, I wouldn't say they're any better, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They might be getting a little worse, and more stressful. My job feels more stressful to me now. I'm getting more cases, more people to have to work with, and a lot of them have some pretty urgent kinds of issues and concerns, and I don't feel able to manage all their problems, and my own at the same time sometimes. So, and there's a lot of frustration because there's a real lack of resources to help people with anyway. And then, people are expecting you to do things for them, but, you really don't have the ability to do much for them. And so it's very frustrating, and I'm getting more and more cases, and there's a lot of paperwork, and there's a lot of data input that has to be done with this job, and I feel like there's way too much data input that has to be done, and I'm trying to keep up with that and address all these people's issues at the same time, so it's very, very difficult to do, very stressful.
So it sounds like your job has been actually getting increasingly more stressful since the last time we talked. And it sounds like you're getting even more frustrated. Am I getting that right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just don't even feel physically up to it a lot of times, because I just feel tired a lot.
Can we take a step back a minute and think about something we talked about last session, and that was if age didn't have a factor or whatever, even if age did have a factor, but you were given an opportunity in the human service field doing something you would love. I'm just going to use one-on-one counseling, for example, because you are a licensed social worker, correct?
Yeah.
Say you were just given the opportunity out of the blue, and an employer said, here, John, you can have this job. And you were able to try it for just, 1 week to see how it was. Would you be willing to try that?
Probably. Yeah, I think so. But that's sort of a fantasy question, I guess, because that's probably not going to happen. So, yeah, if the opportunity presented itself for me to become, to work as a counselor on a, individual basis, and not doing case management or care management, whatever they call this, but just working with clients, on their mental health problems, I would probably take it, try it. And I'm not sure how well I would do it, how good I'd be at it, but I feel like I would like to try it. So, yeah, I would take it if I could.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. On one hand, you're saying that you're at retirement age and that it makes no sense for you to try other options. But then on one hand, if you were given the opportunity to do one-on-one counseling, that would be something that you would jump right in. If somebody said, here, you can try it for a week, you're saying that you would do that. So I'm a little confused, and I just need a little bit more explanation from that.
Well, the explanation is that I would rather be in an office somewhere or stationed somewhere and meet with clients there than having to chase them around all over the place, I guess, and try to find them. Half the time they're lost to services, and you got to keep searching for them, and then doing all these things with trying to link them to resources where there aren't any too many resources available to help them, and all the other stuff that goes with the case management kind of position I have. If I could get away from all that for the rest of my career, I'd certainly welcome that. Yeah, I would welcome that. Like I said, I don't know. Every job has its ups and downs, and I don't know how until I try something, I wouldn't know if I would like it or not. chances are I'd probably find something wrong with it too. So I have this problem, not problem, but in any jobs I've ever had, any job I've ever had, I always find something wrong with the way it's operated, with the way the system operates, or the way that the organization operates, and that, you know, so I end up always feeling frustrated by not being able to do a job the way I would like to do a job, and how the system or the organization gets in the way of my doing what I think should be done on jobs. So that could be a factor. If I went to an organization and, for example, I didn't like the way they approached counseling with clients. I didn't like their approach to helping people with mental health problems and counseling, and maybe there were too many clients you have to see. Maybe you have to see one every. You get done with one client, you have to see another one and another. You know, maybe so there's lots of things like that could be barriers for me to feel satisfied with any job I've ever had. That's part of me. It's just, I've never found. I'm very critical about places that I've worked for. I've always been critical about how they do things. I should be running the places, but I haven't. I never reached that point. So.
So if I'm getting this right, this has been a barrier for you, kind of finding things that's wrong within the organization.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen a mental health counselor in action when you're doing probably reviews with your clients, or you've seen them have multiple clients, and you think that...
I had a lot of clients, and I'm kind of a outcome-oriented person, and maybe I'm a little too idealistic or too optimistic about what actually can be done for anybody. So I get kind of discouraged when I don't see many really positive outcomes happen with people. And so, that then the job doesn't become that satisfying, because I'm not seeing any progress happen. So if clients are going to mental health treatment for 20 years or something,